Welcome to what I believe is episode 8. Anyway, back into this tavern, restaurant, coffee place, ready to continue the expedition of the FLATWOODS. Let's do it.
Tonight, we bring you the final chapter of Who Goes There? The Strange Encounter in Flatwoods. In the last episode, Pioneer Scout Fred Fisher met a curious girl named Sally while hiding in the dark. But, as it turned out, they weren't alone.
There are other people here?
Yeah, they probably just went to get more food. They'll be back soon enough. You can wait with me, and they'll give you food too. You just have to do what they want.
What do you mean?
When they want to play games with you.
Games? What kind of games?
I'm still learning the rules. Mostly, they're kind of boring, and only hurt when they use the needles.
Needles?
Yeah, you know, like at the doctor.
This doesn't sound like any game I know. It sounds downright awful, and these people sound really bad. We have to get out of here.
No, stay put, stay put, stay put, stay put.
Okay, stop screaming. The light! It's so bright!
That's where they come in to bring food, or when it's time to play.
Sally! What's that helmet thing you're wearing? It looks like it's screwed into your head.
Time to play. Time to play.
Sally!
Time
What's wrong?
to
Why are you acting like that?
Time to play.
I see them now.
Time to
They aren't human at all.
time to
No! Stop! Let me go! Sally, help me! I don't want to play! I don't want to play any games! No!
Fred Fisher was found days later, wandering by the river outside Flatwoods. He was disoriented, but unharmed, save for 2 small wounds on each temple. To this day, Fred is convinced his strange encounter was real, and even continues to search high and low for a missing girl named Sally, whom he swears he met. So I leave it to you to decide, dear listeners. Was this simply the wild imagination of a frightened boy lost in the woods? Or was Fred Fisher in fact abducted by brainwashing aliens from outer space? Be sure to tune in next week for another thrilling chapter of Tales from the West Virginia Hills.
Hello, person in the distant future. Dasa told us these tapes would be used as historical records someday. Pretty nifty. So, my name is Miguel Caldera. Let's see, my story begins in an office. I used to be a programmer at Vault-Tec, one of many. Nobody special, you see. And that's okay. I used to stare out that window by the coffee machine and think, shucks, I wish I could leave this job and hike in the woods every day. I dream about walking the Appalachian Trail, setting up camp wherever I like, and traveling with close friends. Dreams kept me going. Well, when the bombs fell, I was terrified, just like anybody else. I wasn't in a vault, so I just, I had to figure it all out too. The responders found me. I had a little campsite, some supplies. I hacked a Protectron to guard me while I slept. I miss people. I did. It's been alright, The apocalypse and all. I know that seems weird, but I have freedom now. I can actually help people. I even met somebody. A volunteer who delivers supplies. Imagine that, right? Even when you think everything is over, it's not. It goes on. I mean, it's awful too. Don't get me wrong. All the people dead and hurt. But those are things beyond my control. So, I'm making the best of it. These days, I'm important. People treat me like I matter because, well, there's so few of us. We can't afford to think otherwise. So for all you future people, just know that we lived through something horrible. But we did it. Somehow, we're alive. And if you're hearing this, then, well, I guess at least some of us made it, right? So hey, chin up, kiddo. You'll be okay. Okay?
Reverend Delbert Winters here, born and raised in this very town. Lent my own church to the responders for their outpost here, and you're welcome. The responders are on a true mission, you see, helping folks through thick and thin, till the heavens open up again and take us all up anyways. When this all happened, I figured like most it was time. This was the end, but it wasn't, was it? We're still here. At first, I thought it was a mistake, that we were missed, forgotten. Maybe we did some wrongs. Didn't give enough to charity, maybe. Didn't praise his name, even in the worst of times. Maybe thought some things that ought not to have been thought. So I asked him. And how? Why? I fought your wars on Earth. I'm ready to fight them up there by your side. Then, in my despair, I saw some survivors eating raw rat carcass behind a dumpster. You ought to cook that first, I warned them. We tried but got sick, they said, covered in their own filth. I realized right then and there that I was being tasked. Then on, I built kitchens, cooked good food, fed anyone who walked up with an empty belly, and I was thankful for my task in life. Thankful. Next time hell or high water land at my stoop, I'll be swept clear away with it. But until then, let's share a home-cooked meal together, all right?
Well, my back hurts. Sick of eating varmints with 2 pair of eyes. Yeah, I tell them I see the big old boomer out yonder. They tell me, what's a boomer then? Then some sweet young thing come up to me asking for help with that garden next door. And then, just this morning, I hear talk of crawdads big as a barn door across the mountains and worse. FLATWOODS had better days. Now everything cattywampus or it'll kill you. Now, I ain't no cussing lady. But damn if God had just let a bomb fall on my head. Jesus, just let me die.
Just showing the map. It's a reminder of where we're located. That's my camp over there. I settled it off camera. I may show it later on. Now I'm really happy to find this jacket because I really think it looks very slick for her. But this is a question for you. If you like any of this outfit, which one you prefer? This one or that one? I know both are very similar. Basically they are the same style, but for the female, the greaser jacket, I think it looks better. But you let me know what you think. Damn rat.
compostables found. Scanning for fertilizer. Alert. Possible source of compostables detected. Alert. Possible source of compostables detected. Tech wishes you a happy day on the farm. Additional biological material.
DASA has asked us all to document our stories for posterity, you know. It seems like a fine idea. So, hi, I am Kesha McDermott. When the bombs fell, I was in Watoga, coordinating a statewide science fair for that year's high school kids. and the theme was the future of energy. After the bombs, everything was pretty chaotic. Scavenging for food and fighting off rabid survivors. Oh, it was just a bad time all around. I found a couple of surviving kids from the high school whose parents didn't make it. And we holed up in a house in town for a while. After a bit, I was able to solder the circuitry in an old radio, and we tuned into a broadcast from the responders. Oh, we were overjoyed. The trip from Watoka to Flatwoods, it was rough, mind you. The kids and I ran into a group of assholes in the mountains who stole our food and water. I can't tell you how happy I was to find the responders in Flatwoods. Tents for everyone, open kitchens, medical supplies, protection. We were safe. They had a problem, though. Their water sources were contaminated heavily. People were boiling water, but not long enough to make it safe. So, I stepped up and I said, I'll build a testing kit to monitor the contamination, and I will teach folks how to properly boil water. And I did. The world is getting better, but slowly. We need to make sure it doesn't relapse, too. It's going to take time and care, that's all. Well, time, care, and science.
My first interview with another survivor, Kesha McDermott. She found me trying to break into a Nuka-Cola machine and showed me a different way. So, Kesha, can you tell us a bit about how we can make sure our water is safe for drinking? Try to keep it to the basics for training purposes.
Oh, it's not complicated, really. Find water and strain out any big particles and chunks. Then, boil it in a pot over an open fire for a minute or two, then let it cool. Should be fine. Like making tea, right?
Uh-huh. You joined the responders a while ago and helped develop a program to train volunteers. So, were you a survivalist prior to all of this?
You could say that. I taught high school kids. I used to talk about this very thing to them. Practical application of the sciences. It's fascinating, but you never realize how important some things will be down the road, do you?
I guess not. So if we were students of yours, what would you tell us about the world now? How can we survive?
That's a good question, Dasa. Well, I would tell you all to remain calm and focus on surviving. The first thing you need to do is get yourself some clean drinking water. It's likely all you'll find is dirty water, but that's okay. We can fix it. Dirty water carries a small chance of disease, and it's a bit radioactive. You'll probably survive if you drink it, but you shouldn't take that risk. It's better than toxic water or nuclear waste, though, which are both very harmful and should be boiled thoroughly first. Got that, Dasa?
Yes'm. Contaminated water should be boiled. Okay, that sounds easy enough. So, boiled water is safe?
It's mostly safe, but still a bit radioactive. What you really want is purified water.
Oh, purified water. Okay, how do I get that?
You can build machines that will do it for you, and that's the most reliable way. Building them requires some space and time and plenty of materials. But on my way up here from Watoga, I found purified water occasionally in supply caches and medical kits. So, keep your eyes peeled.
If I boil water and that's mostly safe, aside from a teensy bit of radiation, what about tea? Most folks around here are tea drinkers, as you know. I recall many a night sipping tea on the stoop, watching lightning bugs, and reading a book in peace and quiet. Tell me that's still okay.
It's your heart. It's probably as good as boiled water anyway. Maybe even better if you add anything medicinal to it. Some survivors add all sorts of flowers and herbs to boiled water, and they swear by it. Personally, I stick with purified water. To each their own.
Okay, got it. Switching tracks a bit. I know you're awfully busy with your latest research in FLATWOODS. Can you explain that a bit?
Of course! I'm testing local, natural water over time in Appalachia. Gathering data, monitoring the radiation and contamination levels, all of that. I analyze the data in my lab to look for long-term trends and use those trends to determine how we can use the water right now. We use the water for more than just drinking, you know. It feeds our plants, which feed our animals, so we need to know how things are changing.
You got a lot of work cut out for you. I'm glad you joined the responders. That data sounds invaluable.
It is. I've integrated the data collection and research into the Responders Survivors Volunteer Program as well. I am still a teacher, after all.
Wow. Then there you have it, folks. Thanks for talking with us today, Kesha. And thanks for showing us all how to live a little safer.
Class dismissed.
Well, I hope I'm not being way too distracting when I'm trying to listen to the holotapes and I try to move around and run around and do things. I just thought that it would be best if I start doing other things while we listen to the tapes. I just hope it's not too distracting. Now, it is time for the most awesome early perk. Lead Belly rank 3, baby. This is really the best. For me, it's hands down the best early perk that you can get when you got it at rank 3, right? It's the one I advise the most to invest. I wish I knew about it, how good it is before, and probably I would have saved melee for later on, but well, I also have some free cards on the endurance tree, and you can equip multiple cards, which is really awesome. It's just you need to have more points invested on each special skill. So if you have 4, you can put 4. If you have 5, you can put 5. So all the way to 10. Hopefully it's more than 10. And this is great. No more radiation, water, and food. Now, of course, I still can get disease, but this one is not a big deal because it says right here, periodic water loss. It's really not that bad if you are near a pump, water pump, or somewhere that you can drink water, like a river or whatever. So it's good. The most important thing is that we won't be destroying our HP with constant radiation anymore. That is awesome. Now, something that can randomly happen, which is amazing, is this government aid drops box. And it can happen about anywhere in the game. And I was lucky that this happened just when I thought I was ending the episode. Oh, damn it, I got a stupid roach. But anyway, I got a very nice shotgun out of it. This one right here, which I'm gonna call it the Chris Redfield Special. Oh yeah. It's gonna be awesome, man. Now, zombies are going to really feel that when I put a shotgun in their face. Let the zombie hunting commence. Ha!